Hello, everybody. Grandalorian back here again with another restaurant review. Like we said in the last review, we were going to talk about Frontera Cocina, and that's what we're going to do. So let me bring in my very special guest, the one, the only, the mommer.
Good morning. Another beautiful Florida day, and I'm outside again.
By beautiful Florida day, we mean hot. It is hot. It's hot down. It's going to be 94 today, I think, with a heat index like over 100. But we're going to play golf. So just got to suck it up, Buttercup, right?
Totally.
At least you don't have to shovel heat, right? We get this. We got like no snow this year.
That is actually true. Did we have any snow? We had no snow days, but
I
we had,
think we had one like ice day, but you guys had school and we didn't. Mine got canceled, and you guys didn't. And then that was it. That was it. We probably should have gotten a day off for the Canadian wildfire smoke.
I am surprised that we didn't get that off.
Yeah, because that was terrible driving in that. Oh well, what are you gonna do? But what was not terrible was last night going to Frontera Cocina. I think it's Cocina. I think in Spanish it's Cocina, and in Italian it's Cucina. Almost cognates in there, but this is a restaurant located in Disney Springs near the Lime Garage, which is appropriate because we had limes with our food last night. And if I had one word of warning for people, if you're going to try this restaurant, this is not your typical Americanized Tex-Mex kind of restaurant where you're going to get dollops of sour cream and melted cheese on everything. This is a more central southern Mexico themed restaurant, and this was delish. Mommer, this is like your favorite place, isn't it? One of them.
It is my favorite place, yes. And I found it interesting that you said it's not the norm. Even the waiter the other night said it's not going to be, how do you phrase it? It's going to be stringy cheese, not melted cheese.
Oh
Remember when
yeah,
we ordered our appetizer, which I'm not going to get into yet, but I thought that was an interesting way that you put that.
yep, yeah, and I'm glad they kind of warn you that because it's not what you're typically used to here in America. There's probably no cheddar on any dish at all, too, because in Mexico they don't use cheddar because cheddar's an American cheese. But we associate cheddar with Mexican food, but it really isn't. It's a beautiful restaurant. It's got a lovely decor, and if you can take the heat, which we can, you can sit out back. I took that picture after our dinner, and even if it's really sunny out, they have these screens that come down, so you're not having the sun blasting you in the eyes while you're trying to eat or read the menu. So, we got in there late enough that they just opened that up, and you can look out over the Disney Spring that's out back there. But it's a lovely place to eat and relax, and just end your day that way, which is what we did. So we have their menu. We took pictures. We got two starters. So they have the tortilla soup. We got the queso fundido, and like you said, the waiter said this is not going to be like a melty cheese. I'd say this cheese had more the consistency of like mozzarella cheese on a pizza. Would that be a good analogy there?
It's a great analogy.
Yeah, with the Chihuahua cheese and roasted poblanos, and the caramelized onions in there almost seemed like a shallot to me, and they were kind of sweet. Well, they were really good. And then the corn tortillas um, made it delish. And then you got the fresh guacamole. You
With
want to
the,
talk
is
about
it Verde or Verde sauce?
verde, the green?
And it's outstanding. Again, it's not your typical Americanized guacamole. That's it right there. And its texture is different, and it almost has little seeds on top. It's outstanding. And I would say it's not as salty as Americanized guacamole.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. I'm biased, but I think the guacamole you make is better. But we cheat. We put garlic in it. It's a whole other kind of guacamole. I'd say the only weak spot in this dish and probably the whole restaurant, the chips are are decent. They're not outstanding. I don't know
We
what you thought of their chips.
we have two excellent restaurants at home that we frequent, so I think we're biased. I also think we're we're a little bit spoiled with those two restaurants whose chips are just amazing. I agree with you on the chips.
Shout out to Grand Rodeo and Los Serapes, back in our hometown. Yeah, but I mean, the chips are definitely good. I mean, they're definitely good. And you have the a green sauce and a red sauce to go with the guac. And they also give you that same sauce with the queso fundido, and you can see the queso there. And you get two ramekins of the green and the red sauce. And like I said, this has the consistency of mozzarella cheese, melted mozzarella cheese, where it's not runny. You can't just stick a chip in there and dip it and pull it out and eat it. You have to actually break that cheese off a bit, use a spoon or something, and get some of the onions and the poblanos that are in there, and put that on your chip or put it on the corn tortillas they give you. And that was delicious. Also, I put a little bit of that green sauce, a little bit of the verde on there, and yum, totally yum. All
I
right.
wonder, I before you go on to the next picture and we go on to our meals, I wonder if this is kind of like the chef's surprise, so to speak, because everywhere we go, the queso fundido is different. So I wonder if this is more kin to, the chef gets to make this their flair. I like theirs. The one at Grand Rodeo is very different. The one at Los Frapes is very different. And even the Serapes restaurants are all different.
Yeah, if you go to Bluebell, their queso finito is very different than Chalfont.
Yes. So I'm just wondering, I really like theirs. I like that theirs I feel is more herby. The herbs I think really come through on this one. And I do like the different kind of cheese consistency.
Yeah, yeah, this was really good. I really enjoyed this. All right, and then we have uh, a couple of salads to choose from. They have a guacamole Cobb salad, and you got the taquera ensalada, um, which you added. Now, this is one of the things I was really excited about coming down here, and it's the garlic, the slow roasted garlic, what they call the mojo de ajo, and you got that on your shrimp added to that, and that was really good looking. And I stole some of your shrimp, and they were really good.
So I'm a salad gal and I love this salad. Like you were really jonesing for the dish you usually get. I love this salad. And it is one of the most unique salads because of the strips. I guess were those fried tortilla strips, and they add the carrots in, the shrimp. Oh my gosh, it is so good. And their homemade salad dressing, which I think it's got a little bit of avocado. It's kind of like a vinaigrette with avocado, but then there's fresh avocado in here. Oh my gosh, it is just, oh, yeah. If you're a rabbit like me, this is just, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I could still like. I'm thinking about that shrimp last night. Like, that was so good. That was so good. And they used to do. Well, here also on their dinner menu, they do have an assortment of tacos with either chicken, steak, or pork. We did not get that though. I got something off their entree menus. Now, I keep going back to the shrimp here, but their carne asada looks like something I might want to try one time. But no, I went with the now going into this, I was like driving to Florida thinking like I can't wait to get the shrimp with the mojo de ojo. And then I get here and I look at the menu, I'm like, it's not on the menu anymore. And I was like actually upset. And I was like, what am I going to eat now? What am I going to eat? And I asked the waiter, and I was looking at the mahi mahi and the shrimp and salsa negra. And I said, which one would you get? He goes, the shrimp and salsa negra is my favorite. He goes, how's your spice? And I'm like, oh, it's good. I did the one chip challenge and survived. And normally I have a fairly decent tolerance for heat for spicy food. And he said, yeah, this is kind of sweet and spicy. So I got it, and it was delicious. And it was surprisingly kind of spicy. This was spicier than I would have thought for like a mainstream restaurant dish that didn't really. I don't really see, like, I'm looking now. Do I see a warning? I don't see a warning in here, like, warning, this dish is spicy, because normally I'll share my food with you. We'll swap plates or whatever. And I was like, oh, I better warn her. Like, this is hotter than the normally spicy dishes we get back home. Like, I thought this was hotter than, like, if you went to someplace and ordered like regular hot wings and you think like, oh, they're kind of hot. I thought this was actually kind of hotter, but that sweet mixed in there with that, like, really, really paired well with it. And it just, the little the zucchinis in there and that rice and everything. Oh, this was delicious. We actually changed a later dinner reservation for later in our trip and to go back here so I can get this again. That's how good this was. And you can't comment on it because you didn't want to try it, because I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty hot. It's a fairly hot dish.
Yeah, no, I can't comment. It looks beautiful.
It was. It was. And I hope when our kids are down and one time, maybe not on this trip, because we're pretty booked up with what they're doing when they're down here. But like maybe next time, if they come down with us again in November when we're doing the run weekend, I would go back here again and tell our son, get this dish. You'll like it. You will really.
Oh, he would love this dish.
Because his spice is apparently almost as good as mine, because he did the one chip with me and he was hurting for certain. I was hurting as well. I think I masked it better, but I was really hurting on that thing. But this was definitely a spicy dish and very delicious. So overall, this restaurant is definitely a winner. And the entrees and the two appetizers, that totaled about $90 maybe. And then with your annual pass, you get a discount on it. So not an unreasonable meal, especially for the quality, for how good it was. And you have a great atmosphere in the restaurant. I had great company, of course,
Oh, thank you, my dear.
last night. So this is definitely a winner, and I would go back here again, and I would recommend this without fail. If you like Mexican food and a more authentic type Mexican food, maybe, then non-Americanized, this is the place to go. I give this definitely 4.5 out of 5.
I'm right there with you.
4.5 dark sabers out of 5. I have to go Mandalorian on it.
There you go.
All right. Well, now I'm looking forward to what we eat tonight.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. So we'll end it with that, and we'll just bid everybody adieu. And until next time, we'll see you soon. See ya.